Hey guys, welcome back to Smashy's Supercoach podcast. In this episode, I'll be going over 5/8 first in this one. Originally, I was planning to actually do a combined 5/8 and halfback one episode, but I don't know. When I looked into it, was looking through them all. Um, I thought it's gonna probably end up being a pretty long one, so I thought, nah, I'll just do 5/8 and halfbacks separately. So to start off with, the most expensive person or player in available at 5/8 was actually Jaden Campbell. His dual fullback in 5/8. Um, yeah, they're saying at the Titans that, the rumours getting around anyway, basically that Campbell's probably going to be in the halves with AJ Brimson, with Foreign actually playing like a 14 role or something like that. It's probably too expensive for my liking. Probably too expensive to start off the year. Like he's 700k because of averaging 71.5 last season. So he's probably a pass for me on that. Tamari Martin's next on the list. He's dual halfback as well. Yeah, Supercoach wise, he actually scores well when he plays at 7, not so much at 6. But yeah, they're potentially he's probably going to end up being 6, going by the way that they've selected their squad for the first trial coming up this weekend. So yeah, here's another one. It's probably a pass for me on that because I think he averaged like 82 playing at 7, but only averaged like 52 playing at 6. So yeah, he's probably a pass for me as well. Matty Burton, yeah, like he's at 648k from averaging 66.3 in 2024. So yeah, you're probably potentially going to be around the same, but depending on whether or not the Bulldogs go as well this year as what they did last year. But yeah, they probably will just go as well as they did last year. So you probably be around the same this year. I'd say. Lockie Galvin, he's 624k. The question probably is whether or not he gets affected by Jerome Luai being dominant half in the side. He's pretty polished to start at the moment as well. Like he's only at 5% ownership at the moment. It's hard to believe that after a rookie season that he'd actually be more expensive than Cam Munster to start the following year, which is interesting. And so Cam Munster's next on the list, 609k. Had a bit of an injury-riddled season after his previous season. He was really fit for the whole year. So he's probably going to be questionable this year. He's had like double hip surgery or something like that over the off season. He'll be questioned. Like how well he goes is questionable due to his fitness. How good that's going to be. When he has been fit though, he's averaged like 75. So potentially, if he comes into the season fit and doesn't have troubles with his hips or anything like that, or his groin like he did last year, there's potentially a bit of value there. Like he only averaged 62.2 last year, so there's potentially a bit of value there in Cam Munster. Like he's been like before last year, he's been pretty much like number 1 5/8 in the game most years previously. So yeah, he's potentially a value pick there. I've got Ben Hunt down at 603k after averaging 61.6, but that was also playing halfback at Dragons last year. Yeah, at the Broncos, he's going to have a new role, obviously, playing 6, at least for the first 9 games of the year, while Ezra Mam's serving suspension. Averaged 61.6 at the Dragons last year at halfback. He ended up with the most tries for the year. So, yeah, don't know how good he's. No one really knows how good he's going to go at the Broncos this year, to be honest. So, yeah, I don't know. Tommy Dearden, he averaged 61 at the Cowboys. They got a pretty tough draw to start the year, the Cowboys. And then they've got buys in round 7 and 12. And then but then after that, they don't have a bye again until round 27. And they've got a pretty good run after round 12. But how well they go overall for the year, no one really knows. I don't know, probably see them dropping down the ladder a little bit this year. After Val Holmes going to the Dragons, Kyle Felt went to Super League, so they're replacing those couple of guys in the outside backs, and Jordan McLean is an extra year older in the front row. Tamalolo's battling injury, and then they're missing Hylam Lukey to an ACL. Tom Chester to an ACL as well. He was a chance for a centre spot, I'm pretty sure. So they're missing some troops this year, the Cowboys, and they got guys who are getting older and battling injuries as well. Tommy Dearden's probably not really a go, in my opinion. The next guy on the list that I've got here is probably the most popular, 5'8", probably, and that's Luke Metcalf. He's priced at 443k after averaging 50.3 last year. That's actually obviously playing 6. Looks as though he's going to be possibly playing 7 this year for the Warriors, which would be very enticing. He's underpriced already due to only playing a small number of games in 2024. So yeah, if he's in the 7 with Tamari Martin at 6, hopefully then he'll be the one that goal kicks, and hopefully not Adam Pompey potentially. But hopefully he ends up being the goal kicker. That makes him very good value. Priced at a 50, he averaged 50, but he's only priced at a 45 or something like that. So in most of the games he played, except for the injury affected games, he averaged a fair bit more than that. He probably averaged around the 60 or 70 mark. Another player I've got down on the list, I've got Adam Dewey. Probably not so much a go. Probably not at 5'8". He'd be more an option. I reckon he'd be probably an okay option to start with in the centre wing, because he's likely to start at centre for the Tigers. He's more likely to play centre at the Tigers, obviously because of having Galvin at 6, Luai at 7. So centre's probably the only spot where he probably plays at the Tigers. Whether he goal kicks or not, as well, it's questionable. Will he kick ahead of Appy? Maybe he will. If he's fit and ready to go, he's every chance he probably kicks ahead of Appy. But I don't know. We probably won't know until when their first game is, obviously. Who else have I got? Cody Walker, obviously. He's out with a calf injury at the moment, so he's he's touch and go whether or not he plays, even in round one. He's priced at 559k after averaging 56.9. He's currently 8% owned. If he ends up being right to go for round one, then I think he's a pretty good pick. Like, even though he's getting a bit older, sometimes getting the soft tissue injuries like the calves and whatnot. But I see South Sydney bouncing back pretty well under Wayne this year. So for me, I think Cody Walker's a pretty good pick, along with probably. Well, then again, I was going to say along with Jerome Luai, but Luai's also obviously moved from Panthers down to the Tigers. When he's won 4 premierships with the Panthers, and they've been like the best team over, especially over the last 5, probably even 5 years, to the team that's finished on the bottom of the ladder for the last 3. So, but then he'll be playing halfback as well, not at 6 where he was playing second fiddle to Cleary. But he showed in games when he was at the Panthers that when he was the 7 controlling the team, he averaged like 20 points a game more playing 7 than what he did overall for the whole season. So he's another option. Dylan Brown as well. He's a dual 5'8" halfback. He still has that dual this year. He's at 651k, which is a bit down on his last couple of seasons, only averaging 66.6 for the year. He's previously averaged up around closer to 70. They're saying also this year he'll be coming back off a partially torn ACL, which I've heard from NRL physio that usually guys that have a partially torn ACL, they're in danger of actually rupturing the ACL at some stage in the future. So that's something probably to watch out for with Dylan Brown. Potentially this year, or it could be next year, or could be any time really. From what I've heard, NRL physio say that with the partial torn ACL, you could end up rupturing the ACL at some point in the future. Pretty much every player that has a partially torn one ends up doing it at some stage in the future. So that's something to think of. That's pretty much all the halfbacks. Not all the halfbacks. Sorry, all the 5'8s. Sorry, and some of them like Luai and Walker and Brown, dual 5'8" halfbacks. So probably might not go over them guys again in the halfback one. Anyway, if you're liking these videos, please remember to hit the thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't already. So that's the 5'8s. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time on Smashy Supercoach podcast. See yous.